Mia, Brittany, congratulations on this film. This is fantastic.
Thank you.
How did both of you get involved? And Mia, what was your process in getting into these two interesting characters?
Well, initially it started off as with a conversation with Ty, and we really hit it off. We spoke for a few hours. It was a long conversation. We really got on. And that's when I had read the script, but I didn't realize that, I was going to have the chance to play both Maxine and Pearl. And then he presented that to me, and everything kind of clicked. I started to see the film in a certain way, and then we kind of started, we began discussing that, and it was really different. And I'd never come across something like that before, with a challenge like that. And yeah, it was really enticing to me. And I had it, and then we started working together, and we would talk daily for a couple of months, before we ever met each other in New Zealand, where we ended up shooting X. And it was one of the great things about this is that we had a long prep. I was uh, in New York at the time, and I was, really studying this for a good 4 months before we ever started shooting. And I was with a choreographer, and I would see her a few times a week, and we went through the entire script as Pearl and looked at all of the body movements and how she would move, and kind of choreographed the entire performance as a dance in a way. And then I took that with me to New Zealand, and so I had an idea of how I was going to move within each scene to make sure that it was authentic.
Oh wow, absolutely authentic. And Brittany, I love this performance from you. It's vivacious, it's alive, and you do that rendition of Landslide. That's so beautiful. How did you get involved, and what was your process working with Ty?
I initially got the script, and I was really excited by the opportunity to play a character that one person would see one way, but actually to making it something completely different. It's not the trophy sort of archetype of like the dumb blonde who's a porn star. Let's make it something interesting. And Ty, I think we really gravitated towards each other because I agreed with him and played it so that she's the smartest person in the room, and she's actually very aware of what she's doing, and she's actually aware of all the people that she's almost using in a way to get by. And I think that rendition of Landside really lends itself to her softness and to her sort of like ideas of the future, as well as everyone else in the film. But it really excited me to play a character that I think I could give some depth to, as opposed to just playing it as an archetype.
Well, I think what's interesting is horror. Nudity and sex and violence has always been kind of cheapened. There's nothing cheap here. This is a very smart film. Every scene, every shot, every idea. What? How much of that came into play? Are you talking about the porn industry and talking about that period specifically for both of you? Let's start, Brittany. I guess I've got you.
Sure. I think the sexuality in this movie was really a long conversation with Ty, and I know for me as well. We all had conversations with Ty that really wanted to be specific, because we didn't want to make a gratuitous movie that was using sex as a means to show shock value or something in this genre, but we were paying homage to a certain genre in a certain time. And so everything that we did was choreographed and really taken seriously in a way that made us feel comfortable, but it was used because our characters were using it. It was not for the film, it was for the mechanism of our characters, and I think that was really important to us.
What about you, Mia? I mean, especially you dealing with two characters who are, connected in a way.
Yeah. Sorry, what's the question?
Basically, what this film deals with sexuality in such a healthy way, which we don't really see a lot in horror, especially. Was there a what? How did you approach it? How was you? What was your approach in working with Ty and finding that kind of character, that relationship with those two?
Well, I think one of the things that uh, really helped in getting comfortable with the subject matter was the fact that the women in the film are very much in control.
Right.
And you look at Maxine and Bobby Lynn and all the way to Pearl, they're the ones that are very much in the driver's seat throughout the movie, and their intentions is to really, they're trying to make a better life for themselves. And it's not as though it's just sex for the sake of sex, or nudity just for the sake of it. It's a means to an end. And we really spend a lot of time in the movie getting to know these characters and really falling in love with them and laughing with them, and they kind of become our friends. So by the time things go wrong, you really start to feel their absence, and they're fully fledged characters. They're not just there to fulfill some stereotypical horror film trope.
Well, you both are fantastic in this film. It's a really great movie. Definitely one of my favorites so far I've seen this year. So congratulations for both of you, and I hope it's a huge hit for everyone. I think it's great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.